For over 13 centuries, Anuradhapura stood at the heart of Sri Lankan civilization. Here kings ruled from magnificent palaces, monks debated philosophy beneath shaded cloisters, and generations of craftsmen raised monuments whose scale still inspires awe today. Located approximately 200 kilometers north of Colombo, the sacred city of Anuradhapura occupies a gentle plain beneath the waters of the Malwatu. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982, it is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in South Asia and remains one of the most revered centers of Buddhism in the world. According to the Mahavamsa, Sri Lanka's greatest chronicle, the city was established in the 4th century BCE by King Pandukabaya, the first ruler to organize Anuradhapura as a royal capital. Yet, it was the arrival of Buddhism during the reign of King Devanampiya that transformed the city forever. Over time, sacred relics associated with the Buddha shaped the very geography of Anuradhapura. Monasteries, stupas, and places of worship arose around them, creating a sacred landscape known today as the Atamasthana, the 8 places of veneration. The city reached its greatest splendor under King Dutugamanu in the 2nd century BCE. Following his victory over King Elara, he united the island and embarked on an extraordinary program of religious construction. Great monuments such as the Ruwanwelisaya, Mirisavetiya, and Lovamahapaya emerged during this golden age. For nearly 1300 years, Anuradhapura flourished as a center of faith, scholarship, engineering, and statecraft. Then, in 993 CE, following invasions from South India, the city was gradually abandoned. The jungle claimed its avenues and monuments, concealing them from view for centuries. Today, these monuments once again rise above the landscape, offering a remarkable window into one of Asia's great ancient civilizations. Among all the sacred places of Anuradhapura, none is more deeply revered than the Jaya Sri Maha Bodhi. This is not simply a tree, it is a living link to the life of the Buddha himself. In 288 BCE, a sapling from the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya in India, the very tree beneath which Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment, was brought to Sri Lanka by Sanghamitta Theri, daughter of Emperor Asoka and the sister of Arahat Mahinda Thera. Planted during the reign of King Devanampiya, the sacred Bodhi tree has flourished here for more than 2000 years. It is widely regarded as the oldest historically documented tree in the world, whose planting date is known with certainty. The Bodhi tree of Ficus religiosa is instantly recognizable by its distinctive heart-shaped leaves, a symbol deeply woven into Buddhist art and religious tradition. The tree stands upon an elevated terrace within what was once the ceremonial heart of ancient Anuradhapura, surrounded by the great monuments of the Mahavihara tradition, including the Ruwanwelisaya and Lovamahapaya. Pilgrims continue to arrive throughout the year, many carrying offerings of flowers and oil lamps. Farmers from distant villages still present the first portion of their harvest here, seeking blessings for prosperity and favorable seasons ahead. Rising above the sacred city in a sweep of brilliant white, the Ruwanwelisaya remains one of the most celebrated monuments of Buddhist architecture. Commissioned by King Dutugamanu during the 2nd century BCE, it is revered as one of the holiest stupas in Sri Lanka. and is believed to enshrine one of the largest collections of relics associated with the Buddha. Ancient chronicles describe elaborate ceremonies accompanying the relic enshrinement. Gold and silver caskets, precious gems, and offerings from across the kingdom were placed within the monument before its completion. Known in earlier centuries as the Mahathupa and Swarnamali Chaitya, the stupa originally stood amongst the largest brick structures ever built in the ancient world. Time and neglect reduced the monument to a ruined mound by the 19th century. Yet, through decades of painstaking restoration, led by devoted monks and lay benefactors, the Ruwanwelisaya was returned to prominence. Today, its vast dome and encircling rows of elephant sculptures continue to evoke the vision of a kingdom united by faith and ambition. The Thuparamaya occupies a special place in Sri Lanka's religious history. Constructed during the reign of King Devanampiya in the 3rd century BCE, it is recognized as the island's first Buddhist stupa and among the earliest Buddhist monuments established after the introduction of Buddhism to Sri Lanka. Enshrined within is a revered relic, the right collarbone of the Buddha. Though the monument has undergone numerous restorations throughout its long history, it remains an enduring symbol of the birth of Buddhism on the island. Surrounding the stupa are rows of stone pillars arranged in concentric circles. These are believed to be the surviving supports of a vatadage, a circular protective structure that once sheltered the sacred monument. The name Thuparamaya combines two ancient words, Thupa meaning stupa and Arama referring to the monastic residence, together reflecting its role as both shrine and monastery. Adjacent to the Sri Maha Bodhi stands the remarkable remains of Lovamahapaya, also known as the Brazen Palace. Constructed by King Dutugamunu, this immense monastic complex once represented one of the most ambitious architectural achievements of ancient Sri Lanka. Ancient records describe a 9-storied building supported by 1,600 stone columns and crowned with a roof clad in bronze tiles that gleamed in the tropical sun. For centuries, it dominated the skyline of Anuradhapura and served as an important residence and assembly hall for monks. Today, only the orderly forest of granite pillars remains. Yet, even in ruin, they reveal the astonishing scale of a structure that stood among the largest buildings of its time in South Asia. If the Mahavihara represented orthodoxy, Abhayagiri represented intellectual diversity. Founded by King Vattagamini Abhaya in the 1st century BCE, Abhayagiri evolved into one of the greatest monastic universities of the Buddhist world. At its height, thousands of monks lived and studied here. Pilgrims and scholars traveled from India, China, and Southeast Asia to learn within its walls. The renowned Chinese monk Fa Hien visited Abhayagiri in the early 5th century CE and described a thriving monastic community that had achieved international prominence. Unlike many contemporary monasteries, Abhayagiri embraced a broad spectrum of Buddhist traditions, including Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana thought. The site is equally celebrated for its artistic achievements. Magnificent moonstones, guard stones, and intricately carved balustrades demonstrate the extraordinary skill of Anuradhapura's sculptors. After decades of conservation and restoration, the great Abhayagiri Stupa once again dominates the northern horizon of the sacred city. Few monuments better illustrate the engineering genius of ancient Sri Lanka than Jetavanaramaya. Constructed during the reign of King Mahasena in the 3rd century CE, the stupa originally rose to approximately 122 meters in height, making it one of the tallest structures in the ancient world and the tallest stupa ever built. The monument is believed to enshrine a relic associated with the Buddha's robe or sash. Its construction demanded extraordinary technical expertise. Built using an estimated 93 million bricks, the structure rests upon foundations engineered to support immense weight while maintaining stability for centuries. Ancient builders employed sophisticated mortar and plaster mixtures incorporating limestone, clay, plant resins, egg whites, sugar compounds, and other natural minerals. These techniques contributed both strength and weather resistance to the monument. Although its height diminished following later reconstructions, Jetavanaramaya remains one of the largest brick structures ever created by human hands. Even today, its massive form serves as a lasting reminder of the ambition and technical mastery of Anuradhapura's builders. The origins of the Mirisaveti Stupa are closely tied to one of the most enduring legends of King Dutugamunu. According to tradition, the king placed sacred relics of the Buddha within his royal scepter while attending a ceremonial water festival. When he later attempted to retrieve it, the scepter could not be moved from the ground. Interpreting this as a sign of divine significance, he ordered the construction of a stupa on the very spot. Built during the 2nd century BCE, Mirisavetiya became one of the earliest monuments commissioned following Dutugamunu's reunification of the island. Though damaged and rebuilt many times over the centuries, it remains an important place of worship and a symbol of the king's devotion to Buddhism. The final monument of the Atamasthana is the serene Lankarama Stupa. Traditionally attributed to King Vattagamini Abhaya, the stupa stands within a tranquil setting marked by rows of stone pillars, suggesting it too was once protected by a circular Vattadage structure. Although modest in scale compared to the giant stupas nearby, Lankarama offers valuable insight into the diversity of sacred architecture that flourished within Anuradhapura. Nearby lies the remarkable Athpokuna or Elephant Pond, measuring approximately 159 meters in length and 52 meters in width. This vast reservoir was supplied by a sophisticated network of underground hydraulic channels. More than a simple water storage facility, it reflects the advanced engineering knowledge that sustained large monastic communities throughout the ancient city. The Atamasthana are far more than a collection of monuments. Together, they tell the story of a civilization that united faith, scholarship, architecture, and engineering on an extraordinary scale. Beyond these 8 sacred sites lie countless other treasures. The celebrated lovers carved at Tisurmuniya, elegant moonstones, ancient bathing ponds, monasteries hidden among trees, and the remains of a city that once stood among the great capitals of Asia. Today, restored through decades of careful conservation, Anuradhapura continues to welcome pilgrims, historians, and travelers alike. Its monuments stand not merely as relics of a distant past, but as enduring witnesses to more than 2 millennia of living history.